Hey YouTube, what's going on? So today we are playing a new game called Timberborn. So for those people that don't know, Timberborn is a survival type game, city building, and we are going to choose Iron Teeth for this playthrough because I prefer their breeding structure rather than folktales. And we are going to play on the mountain range map at normal difficulty. So let's begin. Alright, so here we are. This is the mountain range map. It looks pretty cool. So this game has a cycle. So one cycle equals to a wet season and then a dry season where the water will dry up and you will have to have stored enough food and water to survive that drought. So at the beginning, the droughts are pretty normal and small. You don't really need to worry about it. But as the game progresses, the droughts will get more and more intense. So firstly, I think we'll need to get water and food going. So let me get some of those buildings up and then we can continue. So there we go, gather a flag for berries, a water pump for the water, and a farmer house for better food because berries are the worst type of food. So in order to get these things built up, well, except for the berries, we're gonna need logs. And to get logs, we need to cut wood. So we'll have to go in here, mark for chopping. The reason why I want these gone first is so that I can build up this path here so that we can dam this thing up, like so. So to get someone to chop these logs, we need a lumberjack flag and we can resume the game. I think one of the other important things to get right now is under housing, the breeding pots. So I think 2 for now should be enough. Okay, and now that we got our farmhouse up and running, we can actually mark places down for them to plant, and we're gonna go for carrots because there is no extra steps for them to eat. Also, sunflowers are a good choice, but for now we'll have carrots because I think that is a little bit better. And now we can add a second gather flag because we're gonna need a lot more logs, and this pile is almost done because we only have baby trees and we cannot cut those down. And since we also have our water pump up and running, I think it'll be a good idea to have some of these small water tanks so that we can at least store some water up. So I think something to mention in this game, to get infrastructure up and running, the main source is logs and then also metal. So in order to get a renewable supply of logs, you can either leave these trees that are on the map to spread, because as time goes by these will drop down saplings which will grow into bigger trees and spread, or we can get a forester. And to do that, we are going to need an inventor to get us the science point in order to unlock this forester. And to build a forester, we are going to need planks, which use 1 log to make 1 plank. So we are going to place a lumber mill right here, and then as you can see on the top right hand corner of the lumber mill, it says it is 50 power. So we are going to use the power wheel because that can be used throughout the wet and dry season, because a water wheel can only be placed in water and will only run if the water is flowing, like we can see in the video here. Okay, luckily we got a tank up because these beavers are getting quite thirsty. Okay, here we are, got some carrots to harvest. So what I plan to do here is actually remove all of these berries because the beavers prioritize carrots over berries, and I would much rather have this space to grow the sunflower seeds. Because if we click on a beaver, we can actually see sunflower seeds actually increase the working speed, and berries are nowhere under nutrition, but it does help with food. So it's not actually profitable to keep a lot of berries except for breeding purposes. Okay, so let's add a path over here, and then we can add small things here, and then we could add an extra pump but since we don't need it right now, we can pause that construction because we're trying to save on our logs. And then we can plant our sunflower seeds on this side. Okay, since we have both our housing and lumber mill ready, we'll reduce the workers by 2 so that we can start producing planks. And since we haven't built any storage units yet, once they hit 13, they'll stop producing any more planks. And I think that's pretty good, so we don't waste unnecessary wood making extra planks. And I don't want to put any storage down until I have my renewable supply of wood, because I'm trying to conserve as much as I can so I don't run out. But what we can do is we can get a path over this dam, so we have this green space to work with, and I think I'm actually going to use this space for wood chopping. Okay, so we hit the 60 science, so let's pull out a forester. So let us extend this path, see where it takes us, and then pull out the forester. As you can see, the highlighted blue area is where it can plant. So let's try to bring it, I would say around here seems pretty good. And then we can add 2 lumberjack flags there, and then mark all of that for cutting. So then what we can do, we can just remove this path to make everything look neater, and then we can actually come to this plant tree area and then just do like so and get maples, because if we look at trees, maple is the best wood per day. So as you can see, it takes 30 days but you get 8 logs, and in terms of the amount of logs you're getting for the time put in, maple is the best, because 9 days for 1 log, that means you're only getting 3 in 30 days roughly, and then 2 for 12 days, that's roughly also 4 or 5 logs in 30 days. So maple is actually the best. And as you can see, chestnuts aren't that good, but they give chestnuts for, if you take a look at a beaver, grilled chestnuts, which actually increase carrying capacity. But right now, since we're at the beginning, we don't really need to worry about optimizing our population well-being. We just need to be able to survive, and we're gonna get our first drought in 3 days. Ooh, and we actually have our forester built up. So all that's left to do is get these guys to be connected to the path, and we can actually get rid of these because we are going to have renewable wood, so I don't mind wasting that resource. And then I also think I'll remove this guy, also at a high priority, so we can actually get lumber storage in place. Okay, since we have our lumber mill full, we can actually pause him and then pause the water wheel. Hopefully we get someone in there, and hopefully we get, okay, we don't have someone in these lumberjacks, but that's okay. Let us build storage, and I think for this we should do 3 high, so it's at the height of the top of our forester. Obviously for now we wouldn't be able to put any storage in there, we have to unlock stairs and platforms, so we'll just keep that on paused for now. Then we can actually pause this lumberjack and then remove that. So now we should have, yes, we got a lumberjack over here. And maybe to add some extra well-being, we can do something like this, where we have 2 teeth grinders. This would increase our well-being with our beavers under broken teeth, because as you can see, we already have 2 beavers who have broken teeth, and that makes our well-being unfavorable. So let's see, there's no stock in here, so we can delete that. And now, since we have all of this space open to us, what we can build right here, if we go under food, We can get a grill. And then we can get a farmhouse. Because potatoes we cannot eat raw, we have to grill them in order to eat them. And that's why I said carrots are the best early game food, because there is no second step. And then later there will be some foods that take a third step. So let's put our area for potatoes to grow. And I think we should have enough science. Yes, let's unlock the staircase. And now we just need 100 science to unlock the platform. And it seems we have cleared the path all the way to the staircase. So we might as well put all of these trees also for chopping. And we are slowly but surely getting rid of all these other trees so that we can plant more maples. I think what we can do on this back side is go into housing and then add I think 3 houses should be enough. And what housing will do is actually increase our life expectancy, if I am not mistaken. But if we don't have houses, this actually reduces life expectancy, as you can. So I don't think shelter increases life expectancy, but it does reduce it if you don't have it. So I think having our beavers live longer will allow them to do more work, and I think increase the equilibrium. So if I'm not mistaken, if you have one breeding pod and no housing, you have an equilibrium of about 10 beavers, and then if you add housing you get an equilibrium of about 15. So as you can see, housing actually increases the population equilibrium, like where you reach that perfect point of deaths and birth. So I'm pretty sure this should move us to about 20 beavers without the housing to about 30. So having these 10 shelters should be enough to sustain that 30 population, if I'm not mistaken. Please let me know down in the comment section if I was right about that or not. Okay, and I think this small space is actually perfect for a hauling post. So for those who don't know what a hauling post actually does, so if you look at this farm, right, I think a better example would be this one. Once he reaches 15 out of 15 water, he will go out and he'll put the water in these water storage tanks. So there he went, he took out 5, he went to the water storage tank, he moved it. So what a hauling post does is it makes beavers specifically tasked to do these work. So he can constantly keep pumping until we reach our storage capacity. Obviously, the people in the district center do the same thing, but that's only when they're not building or doing other stuff like removing trees or foliage. So I think this is a really good investment, because a hauling post can really increase production. So instead of needing a second one at say roughly about 30 beavers, you might run into, you might need a second water pump because one is not enough. A hauling post might be enough to have just one pump for about 40 beavers. So it really does help to get it nice and early. And we reach 5 well-being. So we have food, water. Oh, looks like we have our first grilled potatoes coming in. Ooh, 6. Shelter. Oh, we have our shelter built as well. First shelter. Nice. And so now we have our full area nice and cleared out with other trees. So we only have maples in this area, and it's going to take quite a while to get there. A whole 30 days. And so since we have over 100 science, let's unlock our platform. And let's add a platform here. Then we can go back into storage, add more wood storage. Okay, so now if we look at this, I might actually remove this grindstone here, get a stair going here, platform, all the way across like so. And then we might need to unlock the double platform, which is 150 science. But that's okay, because now we can have access to the second layer of storage. And I think it's time we open back up our lumber mill, because we are going to need all the planks we can get, because it's used for the platform and our hauling post. And so we have our hauling post, and I'm going to actually put it at the lowest priority. So that means that if we have an excess of workers, so basically if you look there, unemployed, if we have unemployed workers, they will go into here. The reason why I don't want to make it a priority is because we can put quite a bit of beavers in here. So I would much rather have priority for water and food rather than hauling post, because hauling post is more of a luxury rather than a necessity. Now that that's done, we can also remove this guy right here, and then let's just do this, and we can go to a lumberjack flag, and then we can put him up here, and let's do this, and then let's get a staircase so that we can get down here to get metal, because I want to get to golems as soon as possible, because that's a feature I haven't actually played with. And for those who are wondering what we actually need a golem, if we go down to science, as you can see with a lot of the golem buildings, there's literally just only 3 materials you need, and that is planks, gears, and metal. That's about it. And so we need 100 science to unlock that, and then we need quite a bit of science for this, over 500 science for the metal, because we need to get the metal workshop plus the scavenger flare. Obviously later on we can get the mine, but the mine is needed over here, and for that I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's quite far away, so we might need a second district to do that. But this year it's easy metal, we can get it quite easily. But anyway guys, that's about it for the first episode. Like, subscribe, let me know what you want to see in the series down in the comments. And I think we're at a pretty good place right now with water and food, and so I will see y'all in the next episode of Timberborn.